Good morning and welcome to the Tuesday morning show where ASI's most outspoken editors talk promo products. I'm Andy Cohen, editor of Counselor Magazine, and we have a great show planned for you today. Kathy Houston, how are you today?
I'm good.
That's it? That's all you have to say?
I was stuck in traffic for a long time. So.
I was
So were
too.
you. So were you.
Ask me how I am.
No,
How are you, Andy?
I'm terrible. You know why?
Because you were stuck in traffic.
I root for the New York Jets.
Oh, yeah. Sorry.
And they are just horrendous.
They are.
And they're led by a loser. And
I'm just going to ask you to watch your tone going forward. Don't be nasty.
It became incredibly evident when this loser tried to speak yesterday and give a press conference and couldn't do it. There are just some people who just shouldn't speak ever.
Is that Rex Ryan?
No, he's fine speaking. He's not so great coaching.
Oh, okay.
But he's okay speaking. It's John Idzik, who's the GM of the team and has no idea what he's doing and can't verbalize it either.
How long's he been the GM?
For 2 years. And if he's the GM any more days, I might go crazy.
I think we should do sports radio from now on.
I'm ready.
All right.
And
Get Andy all riled up.
God, anyway, let's forget that because I won't be happy. Michelle Bell, how are you today?
I'm super and not at all condescending. That's how I am. I have a great attitude and a great tone of voice, and I'm ready to go.
I'm afraid that was said in an extremely condescending
That's not true.
and sarcastic
That is
tone.
so
I
not
think
true.
I plucked a nerve there.
Oh, nobody knows what went on behind the scenes before the show started.
Nobody plucks nerves but like our own Joe Haley.
Well, that's true. That's true.
That is true.
How
yes.
are you today?
Oh, but I'm in a great mood plucking
Because
everyone's
that wasn't
nerves.
condescending. Or sarcastic.
All right. Well, we're getting ready to take your calls today, and the topic at hand is creative holiday gift-giving ideas. So if you have any questions or comments on promotions, gift-giving ideas for the holidays, or anything around that you're wondering about, give us a ring at 215-953-4979, and we will take your call and put you on the air. And Joe, what else is on tap for today's show?
Well, Andy, we have 7 deadly sins to avoid when creating a brand name. We're going to look at effective techniques for handling toxic clients. We're also going to talk about inexpensive ways to recognize top performers, smart ways to build customer loyalty in a digital age. We have 5 things smart people say that make them sound dumb.
Who's doing that one?
That would be me.
Oh, okay.
And we have our favorite things, but let's start off with the industry news in 60 seconds. Andy.
All right, thank you, Joe. We begin this morning with top 40 financial news. Supplier Bic Graphic announced that it increased its revenues by 1.9% in the third quarter and by 1.1% over the first 9 months of 2014. Further, the company said it expects its full year 2014 results to show sales growth in the, quote, low single digits. Distributor Top 40 financial news now. 4imprint Group, the parent company of top 40 distributor 4imprint, said its revenues grew by 16% in the third quarter. The company's North American business jumped by 25% in the period and continues a string of quarterly increases. 4imprint said it expects record revenue for full year 2014. General economic news now. Research firm Biz Buy Sell released a report last week that shows small businesses are being bought and sold at the fastest rate since 2007. In fact, nearly 2,000 company sale transactions happened in the third quarter, which was 18% more than this time last year. Some more top 40 news now. Polyconcept North America, which launched an online marketplace last week, announced that it has partnered with Evans Manufacturing and 5 promotional products. Those 2 suppliers will now have some of their products listed on PCNA's web-based marketplace. Check out Promogram today for details. And finally, make sure to check out the latest episode of The Joe Show and Promogram today. Joe, what is hot for today?
The origami calendar.
The origami calendar.
The origami calendar.
So you can like make things different shapes with it and stuff?
Well, you'll have to watch and see how it actually works.
All right.
The origami calendar. It sounds like a Karnak thing from Johnny Carson. The origami calendar.
I'm not sure that any of us could really add comment to that, so we're going to move on. Check out
Surely
that
you're old enough to know
and
Johnny Carson.
so much more in Counselor Promogram today. All right, before we head to the phones to take your calls for our call-in topic of the day, we're going to go to Leighton Lee, who has called in from ETN Express for our Product Safety Minute of the Week. Leighton, how are you today?
I'm doing well. I'm just enjoying it, listening to your rant, Andy, about your Jets and all of that.
We're going to have to move on from that because if I don't, I won't finish the show.
Well, I have a little rant of my own this morning. And it had to do with the Consumer Product Safety Commission. I normally agree with them on most things, but they announced a recall a few days ago on some folding tables. These were sold by Michael's stores nationwide, and these are flimsy little folding tables that people put up to hold up cocktails during dinner parties and whatnot, much like the little folding TV trays that many of us have in our homes when guests arrive to watch Super Bowl when your Jets are playing in that.
Never.
Hasn't happened in my lifetime.
But anyways, the CPSC announced a recall on these little flimsy folding tables, and you'll never guess why. It's because people were sitting on them, and they were falling down and crashing down on their butts.
They're not meant to be sat on.
They're not meant to be sat on. So this is what's amazing to me and a number of other people in the safety world. Why would the CPSC recall these tables and when they're not meant to be sat on? It's just in plain view that they are just flimsy little cocktail-type tables that are just not meant to be sat on. But the CPSC, in their infinite wisdom, decided that it was a safety hazard, so it required Michaels to recall like 30,000 of these things. So, anyways, what's the CPSC doing here very quickly? It seems like they're raising the bar to enforcing safety standards to misuse. Now, in the old days, it was only about violations of regulatory standards, or there was a safety defect that would cause an unreasonable risk of harm. I don't think people sitting on flimsy little tables is either of those, but it's raised the bar, and it just makes all of us a little more nervous, and all of us just have to think a little outside of the box when we're selling products and making products for our industry. We have to think, are people going to sit on this item? So that is my rant. And
is that how we always have to think? Are people going to
yes,
sit on
we
this
always
item?
have to think.
Well, you're regulating stupidity, really.
Exactly. So I hope I wasn't overly condescending in this call this morning.
Well done, Lee. Well
Take
done.
care.
Thanks very
Bye.
much. All right.
He's like a
dumb.
little comedian.
He is like a little comedian.
He's fun.
I love his laugh.
I know.
It's infectious or something. All right, we are getting ready to take your calls on any questions you have about holiday gift-giving ideas. So give us a ring at 215-953-4979. We already have a few callers on the line. Let's go first to line 4, where we have Rachel. Rachel, how are you today?
Oh, I'm good. How are you?
Doing good. What is your question for the host?
So, I understand that apparel is the most popular promo product in the industry, but I've always shied away from using shirts and jackets and sweatshirts and things like that as holiday gifts because it seems so complicated with like the sizing and personal style and all that kind of stuff. So I was just wondering what your guys' thoughts were.
Joe?
Andy.
New ideas instead of apparel.
Well, I think apparel's a good idea. You said you just have to, start out early, make sure you get everyone sized up, bring in samples of the actual product that you would use, let them try them on, and everyone can get the right size if you choose to do it that way. Otherwise, I think that there's a lot of eye products coming out now. We got the iWatch, or what do they call it, the Apple Watch, the iPhone 6, new versions of the iPad. I think there's a little bigger. So that means there's going to be a whole slew of new accessories that will be needed for those products. So I think that anything that's tech-related, especially for Apple products, will be, much appreciated gifts at this time of the year.
Very good. All right, Rachel, hopefully that gives you some ideas. Let's go to Cameron on line 2. Cameron, how are you today?
I'm fine. How are you guys?
Doing great. What is your holiday gift-giving question?
Well, my question is about gender-specific gifts. I usually don't give them just because it makes choosing a gift easier for me. But I'm wondering if maybe doing that it could make my gifts more thoughtful, or possibly what I'm afraid of is that some sort of am I entering a minefield by giving gender-specific gifts? Is it a good idea, bad idea?
Interesting question. What do we think here, folks? Gender-specific gifts for the holidays or not?
No, I don't think it's a bad idea because you can actually have like a bag for women and a backpack for men. So you have two. It's
So
the
you
same
have
product.
different versions.
Yeah, different versions. You can have. We'll go back to the apparel. A lot of lady styles and men's styles. So you can have the same, whatever it is, fleece, shirt, sweater, whatever you give the men's style and the women's style. So I don't see a problem with it.
I think anything that can be better targeted is probably good in the sense that it's something that's appreciated and then will be used.
Sure. I mean, if we all got the same polo shirt in here, it wouldn't make sense. Not everyone. I would wear a polo shirt. Kathy wouldn't wear a polo shirt. Michelle?
No.
No. Andy?
Yeah. I'd wear
Yeah.
one.
See, so
Sure. Why not?
but if it's some other apparel that everyone might wear, I think it's smart to have a ladies' style and a man's style.
Very good.
Okay. So for apparel, so I guess it makes sense for apparel, but I mean in general, how about beyond apparel?
I think with other accessories, again, I'll go back to the bag thing. There's a lot of nice bag manufacturers in this industry that have nice totes that, ladies, would you like a nice tote?
No.
Never
And
mind.
I conclude my
Hey, you know what, Cameron? They might not be the two best.
All right. Fair enough.
I think it doesn't matter. I think as long as the gifts are nice and thoughtful. I mean, we were given gifts one year, Joe will remember this, that were handed to us by our boss at the time, that were little plastic, what were they, flashlights?
Little flashlights.
I mean, and they couldn't have been given to us with any less thought.
Yes.
And they were very, obviously, inexpensive. Cheap would be another word for it.
Right.
And it was just like a smack in the face to us. So I think it doesn't matter if you have gifts for women or gifts for men. I think as long as they're nice gifts
Right.
and they're thoughtful and, it would be great if they're, I'm actually not opposed to the apparel, like Joe said. I think, you just kind of wheel it out and show people samples and let them feel it. I think as long as they're of quality and they're presented well.
I think the idea of being thoughtful is important. Knowing what your clients might want, not necessarily giving the same gift to every single client. That's just a blanket way that shows that you're not necessarily putting any direct thought into it about specific clients. So thinking about what people might want, not necessarily gender specific, but specific to that person and what they would use and what they would appreciate. I think that's the most important.
If your clients are doing the in-house gift for their employees, I think it would be good to have a couple of options, no matter what it is: apparel, accessories, something for their electronics or their iPads, or blah blah blah. And again, bring in samples and let them choose, and then everyone choose the gift that they want. And at the end of the year, at a holiday party or whatever it is, everyone would receive that gift.
That's a good idea.
And maybe you can do that for some of your other clients who are giving gifts to their vendors and clients. You might create a little gift book so they can choose from one of these options.
Oh, great.
All right, Cameron, hopefully that gives you some ideas. We have another call on line 3 from Stanley. Stanley, how are you today?
Good morning. How are you guys?
Doing great. So what is
I
your
just have to make a note to myself. Michelle does not want the toolkit this year. Okay, write that down.
nor the cheap bag, most likely.
Thanks, Stanley.
Yes.
So what are you giving out this year?
As I listen to Cameron, I kind of also put myself in the situation though, what the customer, what my client is hearing and what they're listening to, in that when I show up and I say and I offer the women specific and I show them the sizes, like here's the piece that comes in the polo and here's the one that comes in the matching apparel for the women, it seems like they really do like that, and I do let them know what the pitfalls are. I let them know it's going to take this much more preparation. Let me get you the size run. This way you can try them on and all that. But my question goes back to apparel versus food. Last year we did these wooden boxes that were laser etched with the client's logo, and then the bottle inside was a bottle of wine, and some people etched them and some people just put regular bottles in. But what are your thoughts on that?
Specifically between apparel and food, Stanley?
Yeah, or gifts and food, like hard gifts versus logoed gifts versus a basket or food gifts. I love Maple Ridge and I love ETN Express, as Andy called it today.
ETS, yeah.
And yeah,
Did I say
and
ETN?
You did.
but it goes back and forth.
apologize.
What do you think?
Joe, what do you think?
I like food gifts. It's something that if it's something from Maple Ridge Farms, they have those towers that have a lot of great treats inside. Send it to one of your clients, or your clients send it to their clients. Everyone in the office can enjoy that. If you package it in something else, they have a lot of packaging, options. It's really going to take it to the next level.
Don't we have a Facebook comment that speaks to this?
We
actually?
do, actually, from David Garthwaite, and this might be helpful, Stanley. It's David points to a study that he read that food gifts are the most desired gift among the holidays for recipients. The problem is that, as David says, the impressions are low because once you eat the food, then what's left. So he says the package the gift in a branded container that has a dual purpose, such as a mug or a pen holder, because then there'll be something left in the office. I mean, I think baskets are fine. Anything that can be, a vase or a bowl, something decorative like that can be left in the office that would still, make the person who sent it to you top of mind.
All right, Stanley, good luck. And if you have any extra bottles of wine, you could send them our way.
We're one of those towers.
No problem.
All right, have a good one, Stanley. Michelle, there were some other comments on our Facebook page regarding this topic.
Yep. Eric Campbell says, holiday rules are the same as every great opportunity for promo products. If your offerings are great and they're novel and clever, but what you really want is that they be indispensable and remain useful to the end recipient. You have to make sure your quality is up to snuff. If a power bank is fantastic and it's useful, but then it doesn't work, then the message that's attached to your brand is that is one of uselessness and failure. So again, go
That's
for
interesting.
quality over
I agree with
cheap
that.
costs. Ryan Schott has a question. He says, besides power banks, what are the hot holiday gift item this year?
Well, we'll turn to the star of the Joe Show for hot holiday gift items.
I think we'll go back to the origin of the first caller. Anything for Apple products, I think, would be appreciated because when they come in different sizes and stuff, it's like sometimes I'll get a nice phone cover, but it's for an iPhone 4, and if most people have the 5 now, it doesn't fit. So, or if they go from the 4 to the 5, they need a different size cover. So it's going to be something that they need and that they're going to appreciate. So I think that anything that's related there, I think that, when they mentioned the power banks, though, the one Facebook commenter there, I still think it's a good product. It's a hot product. But, again, I would go with quality. You can probably get them cheap someplace, but I wouldn't do that. I'd make sure it's something that's nice, something that works, and something I think will be appreciated.
Well, also be careful about cheap power banks because there's been a bunch of recalls in that area because they overheat and cause much problem to users. So definitely be careful with that. But they are very good products, and they'll be used. That's the good thing about power banks for sure.
So who do we
Any more?
think had the best comment or question?
I like David Garthwaite's, the one that was about
the food.
packaging and stuff.
Yeah.
I agree.
Okay. The one where it says the problem with food is that the impressions are low.
Yeah.
To use a branded
And it also
package.
just
Yeah.
worked in answering a caller's question.
Exactly.
So, David Garthwaite,
What a pay.
you are the winner of the $25 Visa gift card for this week. Thanks for writing in, and please do continue the chatter on our Facebook page. All right, we're going to take a break to hear from our show sponsor, ASI Education, but when we get back, we will talk about how to handle toxic clients.
At ASI, we know that education is the key to success, so we're excited to announce our newly reimagined online learning center. Log in and test the all-new intuitive interface. Share photos, stories, and communicate with other ASI members who are learning along with you. Expand your knowledge with wikis, discussion boards, and more than 350 courses, which include valuable marketing and sales information. And for your convenience, the Online Learning Center now uses a single sign-on access like your other ASI services. Best of all, it's free. Become an industry expert and see what's new on the ASI Online Learning Center at www.asicentral.com/online learning.
Another Facebook comment.
All right, welcome back to the Tuesday Morning Show, where we've been talking about creative holiday gift-giving ideas. If you have any questions about that, you can give us a ring at 215-953-4979, or just give us a call. If anything else is on your mind that you want to share today, Michelle, we have another Facebook comment regarding
We have a
this
question,
topic.
actually.
Okay.
Andrea Hatfield writes, I am in need of high-end gifts for vendors, clients, where a logo isn't necessarily that important, but something clearly impressive. And her price range is between $100 and $400.
Between 100 and 400.
Wow, we don't get that type of question too
Yeah.
often in here, do we?
No.
That's a big price
That's
range
a-
and also a big number specifically
I would-
for this industry.
Yeah.
Go
So
on
there are
ESP.
there are those companies that specialize in the incentive items,
Right.
like Toomey luggage and Maui
Right.
Jim sunglasses.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what I was going to say. The incentive area with big time electronics, bags, luggage that are
Other goods.
very very high end. Yeah, leather goods is a great idea. I would definitely go on ESP and search
by price.
By
right.
price. But you can do a lot in the electronics area. That certainly if you can spend $250 per gift, you can get some really good things on the high end electronics.
You're not getting a cheap flashlight for that. That's for sure.
And we'd like to be on the receiving
Sure.
end of that promotion.
Seriously.
So.
And the other thing, it goes back to David Garthwaite's comment too. If the logo is not important on the product itself, if they don't want it in balls like, say, a leather portfolio or a nice leather Toomey bag, you can always in the packaging.
Yeah.
You can always you can get customized gift wrap, customized ribbons, so they still know who it came from, and then you don't have to worry about logoing the item itself.
Mm-hmm. That's a good idea. And if you have a bigger budget, then you can expand that and go to packaging and do some really nice stuff with packaging. So that's a good idea too. All right, thanks for writing in with that. Michelle, we have a topic here about things to avoid when you're creating a brand name. What are those?
So 53% of consumers reported that the popularity of a brand name definitely affects their decisions when making a purchase. The point is that a great brand can make you more money, while a bad one can actually decrease the value of your company. It seems to me when people are coming up with names for their companies or for products, things like that, they may try to be overly cute. Or, a lot of people these days try to do things in all lowercase letters because of Twitter and Facebook. And, So here are some tips to avoid.
I'm not a fan of that.
I'm not either.
Yeah.
Things that are spelling challenged just for the sake of it. So are you guys aware of this site? And I was actually, before I read this, an interior design site called Houzz, but they spell it Houzz. Why?
Oh.
Why?
See, now, without having someone tell me it's house, I would think it's
House
or
who's.
who's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or house.
Right. And then there's don't be a copycat. So, for example, there's a lot of companies who wanted to sound like Twitter. Chatter, Jabber, and Yammer.
Yammer's great. The name of that.
Yammer's something.
I actually like
he's
that.
Either yammering.
I like that.
Yammer.
I like that because of the ironic nature of it. I think it's good.
So also be careful when you're naming something not to be overly restrictive. The company that called itself 99 cents really kind of boxed itself into a little corner there, right? 'Cause that's all they have. 24-hour fitness locations and convenience stores, they're 24 hours, right? Because that's what they have to be.
Well, as long as they're
Diapers.com.
willing to be that.
Yes.
What was that last one?
Diapers.com.
Oh.
That
sounds
Is
like
that something now?
That's something that Kathy and I will need in a few years.
No, that sounds like something from the late '90s when there was all those different .com consumer sites that all failed.
I think that the point is though, think more broadly.
Right.
And then
Does diapers.com exist right now?
Yeah,
That's
it says
something,
although that they've broadened
they
their
sell more
product
than
category.
diapers.
Yeah,
Well,
but they've locked themselves into that name.
Right.
Well, the other one's the Dollar Shave Club.
Yeah.
Do I want to do that or don't I want to do it? Because I'm unsure if, is it really $1 a day to get a razor, and those razors any good?
Well, the only way to find that
Yes,
out
I
would
know,
be to test it and give them a little bit of your money. And
I'm
then
scared, Andy.
Figure out if it works for you, and then hey, if it doesn't work for you, you move on, Joe.
Okay, Andy.
Two more I'll do quickly. Annoying names. So there's this, clunky names. There's a networking organization for women called Femfessionals.
Oh.
stop.
Ew. I would never belong.
A collective groan.
You know
A
what,
collective groan from
That's
the group.
just trying too hard.
Well, and
you
that's
know,
right. And they
it's
said,
just stop.
sometimes it's just better to just go for what your organization is and
Yes.
don't try so hard. And lastly,
Femfessionals?
Femfessionals. Yep.
I'll
Lastly,
leave my
there's
comment here.
Yes.
there's the
please do.
group that tries to be to speak above their demographic. Yes, there may be scientific research behind it, such as I don't even know how to pronounce this. I know what it is, but Eukanuba pet food. Why?
What?
Do you know what Eukanuba
Yeah, I
pet
know
food
it,
is?
yeah.
It's scientifically formulated pet food created by veterinarians.
Cats and dogs.
We're ripping it up. By this veterinary college, and it's got a lot of scientific data behind it. So of course they came up with this name that is so highbrow. It's Eukanuba, which is
Eukanuba.
not the least bit appealing, by the way.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
And yet a dog
Fancy
will go,
Feast is
doesn't-
much more
exactly.
appealing.
a dog will go in the backyard and eat its own.
So there's some tips to avoid.
Very nice. Good stuff. We will
Now-
post the rest of those on our website at
On what-
asicentral.com/radio.
No, I don't want to move on yet.
Go ahead.
You know that
I'm not.
company called Shivago?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hate the name, and I just hate the dude. And it's just he's.
What are they doing?
Oh, I hate that dude too.
Is that the travel site?
The travel
Yeah.
site. He comes out and he just looks all skeevy, like, hey, buddy, get off the park bench and do this commercial. And there's actually there's actually an article online that says, does the Shivago guy actually need an update? I'm like, an update? He should have never been rolled out in the first place. It's awful. And the name Shivago. I think of Dr. Shivago.
Okay.
Okay, there we go.
Okay.
That's my semi-rant for the day.
All right.
Or Kathy and I have a commercial we don't like.
All right, let's not.
Okay. Moving on. Kath,
What is it? I want to know.
this is a topic that I'm very interested in because our listeners certainly all have toxic clients. Most businesses do, whether they want to admit it or not. So how do you deal with toxic clients?
Toxic clients and toxic people you work with.
It's
too.
hard to say, too.
Okay. First of all, you got to set limits. Combine your niceness with someone else's love of endless complaint, and you have a recipe for a lot of wasted time. So don't feel bound to indulge the constant kvetcher at your company or at your client's company. Yes.
I think we balance everyone out here well.
Secondly, choose your battles. Successful people know how important it is to live to fight another day, Andy.
Ain't that the case?
Yes. So choose your battles wisely and only stand your ground when the time is right, when it's something worth fighting for. Keep tabs on your own emotions. The danger of toxic people is that their negativity can rub off on you. So even if you're usually not the type that gets sucked into endless crankiness, you can. So keep check of your own emotions. Also, make your happiness contingent on the happiness of people who love to be miserable, and that's also a losing game. So defend your own joy. Train yourself to take others' commentary with a grain of salt. Let your own feelings about your accomplishments take the lead.
Defend your own joy?
See, that statement right there annoys me.
Yeah.
That is
me
annoying.
too. Defend
Defend
your
your
own
joy, Michelle. Don't be so condescending.
I know.
Yeah.
I was totally with you until
defend your joy.
you said defend your own joy.
All right.
I'm going to go out of here leaping, even though you're cranky, Andy.
Finally, focus on solutions. Okay, you can't make
I
your
like that one.
you can't make your toxic colleague any less crazy. So don't waste your time on their many faults. That will just drag you down. Focus on solutions to the problems at hand, and that will be your recipe for success.
So are they
That's
saying,
a good one for clients,
Yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Are they saying don't kill him with kindness?
Yeah, don't kill them with kindness.
They're
No.
basically saying don't go out of your way too much to
Right.
appease them.
Because
Oh,
you're,
okay,
cause you're
so
never
it's
going to make them less
Right,
crazy
right,
because
right.
they just like to complain.
Right.
Right.
Got
All
it.
right. Before we head to Michelle's favorite section of the week, which is our favorite things, Joe,
Andy.
there are inexpensive ways to recognize top performers, and this is a good time of year to be doing that.
Yes, absolutely. And
So
and this,
what are those ways?
Well, this was actually focused at startup companies because they might not have
Okay.
a lot of money,
Uh-huh.
but companies might be up or down, with their business year, so it could actually apply to anyone. One of them, there's 10 of them. I'll give you 5. Is hold a celebratory party. So if you had a major accomplishment, have a party, invite everyone, and recognize everyone who was involved in the major success at that party. I mean, we always show up when there's booze involved, don't we?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Sure.
Give a gift card.
Why wouldn't you?
Give a gift card. So gift cards, $25 gift card, $50 gift card, whatever. Not real expensive. Not going to break the budget. And everyone likes getting a gift card. I do. Especially if it's like one of the visas because you can use it almost anywhere. So I think that's a good idea. Offer unlimited vacation. Some of these things are things that we've just started speaking about recently or more frequently on this show, but offering limited vacation. Although you might have to be creative when crafting your schedule at certain times of the year, it's a great way to reward your team members without directly affecting the bottom line.
Yep.
Okay. Tailor the incentive program to the person, which kind of we were talking about with gift giving too. Kathy, what do you want? Might be different from what Michelle wants, from what I want, and Andy wants. So
All right, give us one more.
One more. Offer flexibility. It's another thing we've been talking about.
I like it.
Flexibility in the work schedule, being able to start a little later than traditional start times, work a little later, work from home. Have a flexible schedule. That employees will really appreciate that. So
If we were any more flexible and editorial, no one would be in.
we could fit into a little box, a 1x1 foot box. That's how flexible we are. I mean, so anyway,
There
we'll
you
post
go.
all these online at asicentral.com/radio.
Very good. All right, we have just enough time for our favorite things. I'll lead us off with so much talk on wellness and healthcare promotions. This is a lightweight first aid kit that has bandages and towelettes and a first aid guide. Check it out online now. It's from Innovation Line, which is ASI 62660. Kathy, go.
Mine is good for a little holiday gift. Just stick it in a mug. It's hot chocolate on a stick. It's from Chocomize, ASI 44903. So I think it would be a great gift for clients, corporate events and trade shows and whatnot.
Cool. Hot chocolate on a stick. That's a good.
It's hot chocolate on a stick, and you stick it in hot milk and make hot chocolate.
I like it.
Yeah.
Good holiday gift. Michelle?
Mine is from hitpromo.net, and it's a massager pen. So it's this. It's got this little rubber tip with nubbed edges, and you can just use it like to massage your head and your face. How nice.
Okay. Wow. Joe,
Serenity.
what do you
Serenity
have?
now.
Okay, this is a little desk accessory. I think it's pretty cool. You flip it open, and now it's got that like sticky stuff that doesn't leave residue. So you rest your cell phone on there. It's got a little stylus. It also has a pen inside that stylus. And up top here, it's a screen cleaner.
Wow.
It's a useful product. You can have it sit on your desk. You can actually put your phone in there if you're going to Skype with someone or do FaceTime with someone. So it's from Norwood, ASI 74400. Find them online, norwood.com.
All right. Thank you, Joe. Well, unfortunately, we are out of time for today's show. But thanks for listening. Thanks to our show sponsor, ASI Education. And we'll see you again next week. Same time, same place. Have a good week, everybody.